Hello everyone, welcome back to Microcare Academy. In today's video, we are diving into the world of version control with Git. We will be taking you to the step-by-step process of creating a GitHub repository and pushing your project to the repository using Git commands. Before we jump into the practical part, let's quickly discuss what is Git. Git is a distributed version control system that allows you to track changes in your code, collaborate seamlessly with team members, and maintain a detailed history of your project. Alright, let's have a quick overview of what we will cover today. We will start by setting up a new GitHub repository. Next, we will explore how to connect our local project to the remote GitHub repository. This will allow us to push our project to the cloud by using Git commands, and these commands will become valuable tool in your development workflow. Once you are logged into GitHub homepage, click on the New button to start creating a new repository. Choose a descriptive name related to your project. Choose whether you want the repository to be public, that is visible to everyone, or private, accessible only to you and the collaborators. Initialize with a README file. It is a good idea to initialize your repository with a README file. This file will be shown on the main page of your repository and is useful for providing the information about your project. Add a git ignore file if your project includes the files that should not be tracked by the Git. In such case, it's a good practice to create a git ignore file. In my case, I am using Visual Studio. I want to ignore various files and directories that are typically generated during the build process specific to Visual Studio. Now click on the Create Repository button. Congratulations, your GitHub repository is now created. Let's create a working directory. I am using a command mkdir to create a folder at certain path, which will be our working directory. After creating a working directory, we need to initialize a Git repository. Git init is a Git command that initializes a new empty Git repository in the current working directory. When you run git init, it creates a hidden .git directory in the root of your project folder. When you create a new Git repository locally using git init command, the repository will have no knowledge of any remote repositories. Git remote add origin is a Git command to connect your local repository with a remote repository hosted on a GitHub server. After running this command, your local repository will have a remote name origin pointing to the specified remote repository. After you have set the remote, now we need to pull the changes from the remote repository. Git pull is a Git command used to fetch and merge the changes from the remote repository into your local repository. In this command, replace the branch name with the name of the branch you want to pull changes from. For example, if you want to pull the changes from the remote branch main, you would use git pull origin main. Let's start the demonstration. Open the working copy .NET demo that we created. As you can see, it's empty. Start a new terminal and execute git init command. It will initialize an empty Git repository. After that, we need to make a connection between the local repository and the remote repository. So we need to copy the URL of the remote repository and execute git remote add origin command. Now we need to pull the changes from the remote repository. So we need to execute git pull command. After that, you can notice the readme and .git ignore file are updated in our local working directory. Now let's start adding some files to our local directory. I will create an ASP.NET Core MVC application using Visual Studio Code by running the command .NET new MVC. It will create an ASP.NET Core MVC application and all the default files will be loaded in the local working directory. Alright, now we need to push all these files to the remote repository. In order to do that, we need to understand some git commands. The git add command is used to add changes made to your files in the working directory to the staging area. For example, if you modified a file or added a new file, so you need to use git add to stage those changes before committing them. After staging the changes using git add, use git commit command to create a new commit. A commit is a snapshot of your changes at a particular point in time. It is like a record of the changes you have made. When you commit, you also add a commit message that describes the changes made in that particular commit. After making local commits, now you can use git push to send those commit changes to the remote repository. To push the changes to the remote repository, use the command git push origin branch name. Replace the branch name with the name of the branch. By doing this, all the commits will be pushed to the remote repository. Now you can go to remote repository and you will find the new files updated. So now you can make changes directly on the remote repository and you can pull them again from the local repository and vice versa by using the git commands.